Last time on Dungeons, Drive-Ins, and Dice.
What'd you have in mind today? You said Heist Tower?
We've got tickets for the Heist Tower, and you're invited.
Oh, I'm invited? There's a ticket for me?
Yep, and if there's not, Uncle Slippy will sneak you in.
We heisted this whole child.
You roll up. There is all sorts of banners and signage, and all of these things are outlining a special exhibit, being the Mecha Pharaoh exhibit, and the contents of the Tomb of Tutankhamun.
Slippy's gonna walk up to one of the guards people, more than likely, and say, "Hey, so what's the deal here? I thought this was a heist tower. What's the heist part?"
Why would you want to heist from the museum?
Slippy says, "Oh, so you're part of it."
As Carl slides his ticket into the slot, from in front of your eyes, Carl just sort of disappears. As Carl disappears, you folks look back and Lucy is just standing there looking around like, okay. She runs back and steps over the thing. She's like, I was here the whole time.
All right, Lucy, you're gonna need to be my man on the inside.
Inside of what? We're all inside the hotel. Or
Here's
the
your ticket.
museum.
Slippy hands her a ticket.
So yes, Lucy has made her way in at the cost of Slippy's ticket.
All right, well, come on, BBW, let's join the others. Best of luck to you, Slippy.
Good luck, everyone.
And see you on the other side.
And now we return to our adventure.
Carl, BBW,
He's just trying to be a freak.
Cookie, you guys are in a stone hallway leading off and into darkness. What's the first approach to this situation? Lucy's like, you guys think Slippy's gonna be able to get in here?
Oh, you said he goes to the vent. Huh.
We did come in on a conveyor belt, right? Is what you said?
Yeah, like it like right at the doorstep, it conveyor belted you through the door.
Gotcha. Okay. Never mind then. Onward.
Onward. Is there a light switch somewhere?
No, it's like a hewn stone hallway. Not even really hewn stone, more just like bricks. You can see like the brickwork all around you. There are carvings all along the walls, and it just sort of leads back and into the darkness.
Carl says, "Gosh, this even predates lighting fixtures. You know, I wonder what their ventilation was like."
I don't see anything immediately. Maybe they didn't have any. Oh God, how's Slippy gonna get in?
Maybe we'll find something further in, like another ticket. We can slip it under the door or something.
BBW knows about God.
But he didn't know you can make cakes.
I think Cookie wants to head further into the heist portion of this, and she wants to keep her compound eyes peeled for maintenance hallways or access doors or like employee only type stuff. She's thinking of like trying to leave a door propped somewhere, or maybe all of the doors propped. Just sort of as we go along.
Yeah, sure. The three of you can start off down the hallways. There doesn't seem to be really any break in the stones or the walls, save these carvings and inscriptions along the walls, these runic markings repeating themselves down the hallway.
I want to spout lore intelligence and see if I recognize anything about the markings, like if there's language that I've come across before. That's a 6.
You get a +1. Did you add your +1?
Oh, I get a +1. That's a 7.
From the food.
My intelligence is a -1.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, I didn't eat the cake.
Oh, Carl didn't eat the cake
Because
so no.
I need my strength more than I need intelligence anyway.
God, not in this moment.
Carl, none of them look super recognizable. There's just sort of a repeating pattern. It's like the Eye of Horus. There's a carving of a scepter, another Eye of Horus, and a scarab. And it just repeats that Eye of Horus, scepter, Eye of Horus, scarab, Eye of Horus. Just right, like down the line, down the center of this. There are little carvings around that, but you're not really able to make them out. They look worn and dated as you folks.
Carl's gonna walk up to one of the series of them and he wants to stand and kind of slightly chameleon his eyes. So he's looking with one eye at the scarab and with the other eye at the other thing. What was the fourth one? Eye of horse, scarab, eye of horse.
Scepter.
Scepter. So because it's like, I look at the scarab and look at the scepter. So he's like, okay, if I look at both at the same time, will this trigger something?
It doesn't. You sit there and look for a moment, but
it triggers a headache.
It triggers a headache in you, and you folks shrug and continue down the hallway. What is your marching order down this hallway? Just curious.
I think
Lucy
Carl will
first.
lead just in case.
I think since Carl went first, I'm gonna follow behind. That's her cookie.
Worst case scenario, I can light it up with some muzzle flares.
Yeah, Lucy is walking near Cookie and hiding herself next to Cookie as she peers around frightfully. But as you folks are walking down the hallway, you hear a deep metallic gear shift in the walls, and the plate that Carl's standing on sinks into the ground, and you hear like several little instances of stone sliding on stone, and you peer around at the walls around you really quickly, and there's all these holes in the walls now, and I need everyone to give me Defy Danger Dexterity.
Oh no. Lucy's gonna die.
That's
Hey guys!
10.
That's a 4 with my +2 to Dex.
Nice. Got a solid 10 there.
I think that's the first time I've rolled snake eyes in this whole campaign.
Must be nice.
6.
As you peer around at these holes, you all dive to hit the deck. Cookie, seemingly the slow. Carl, seemingly the slowest. But Cookie and Carl, you were both shot in the side with darts that come out of the wall for 4 points of damage. BBW, you're able to hit the floor. All of the holes are above Lucy's head, so she kind of crouches down a little bit, but she was out of danger when the event began. And you folks are hit with some darts in the side. I need both of you to give me Defy Danger Constitution now, as you've been shot with these darts.
3.
Also 3.
Look, I'm squishy, okay? I'm an octopus. I don't even have an endoskeleton, let alone an exoskeleton.
Both of you feel a little searing flash where these darts have stuck, and you take 1 point of damage through armor, and you feel a little sickly. But you pull the darts out, toss them to the ground. That burning sensation actually remains where they stuck into you.
I love dying.
Yeah, but the darts stop after that, and you peer around the hallway. Things return to silence in here. Slippy, you're moving around the ventilation exhibit. What's your play here? As he's walking you from exhibit to exhibit, saying, "So this was the ingenious of Pharaoh." Now, I didn't want to go into a whole history session.
Yeah, Slippy pretty much immediately upon, like, we get to sort of where the good stuff. They don't have all the good stuff right in the front of the exhibit.
Sure.
You have to get a little ways in. And once we get to the good stuff, Slippy's just going to start weeping. He's going to get on the floor. He's going to get on his knees. He's just going to go, I'm so passionate, Ribbit. I'm so passionate about ventilation. It's so important to me.
I am too, friend. I'm so happy you found yourself in the music.
Shh, please. I need a moment.
Oh,
I just need to be with these ventilation shafts. If you could just give me a moment.
Yeah, moment of silence, and they take a step back and they look at you, and they put their hands behind their back and they bow their head a little bit.
While his head is bowed, Slippy's just gonna like rapidly try and look at anything that would be useful to him. So I guess this is gonna be another discern realities.
Yeah, it could be discern realities if you want the checks. You could also, I could say defy danger, and I could also say intelligence, because you're like looking for an escape. Like you're looking for
First, let's do a defy danger dexterity. I'm gonna try and, while he's looking down, giving me my moment of silence, I'm gonna try and silently slip away.
Okay.
And I think because of my alien race, I'm a slippery one. I get +1 to escape. So here we go. Oh, thank goodness. So that is going to be a grand total of 13.
Yeah, as he bows his head, you slip into there's a few people enjoying this exhibit, and you slip around another exhibit and out of eye line.
And then from there, I think I'm going to do actually, I've got a bad feeling about this, because then I can know some of potentially good questions. That is all 3 questions. I'm going to start off with, is there a trap here? If so, what activates it?
You're
In the
peering
ventilation
around
section.
quickly, and you see it looks like a carved stone vent up on the wall above a set of scepters along the wall. I'm talking about the pharaoh that he had been pointing out to you, Pharaoh Ramon. And there
Reboot in common.
and there is a sort of stone ventilation panel above, and this does stick out to you because as you peer around, there are like your average metal ventilation panels, but this one's stone, and you can see 2 thin lasers going across the surface of it. There's a trap up there.
Okay, and if so, what activates it? I assume breaking the laser.
Yep.
What does it do when it's activated? This is the number 2 question.
You look around.
The lasers turn into lasers.
They'll kill you. You look
get
around
shredded.
and you see different alarms around the room, and I mean the wires from these lasers go
Makes
into the
sense.
wall, and there's not much information other than that. I think you could imagine that it just sets off the alarms.
This makes sense. What else is hidden here? Perhaps an off button?
You're kind of looking for, yeah, like you said, like an off button. You see 2 little exposed wires coming out of each of these. They're exposed only about an inch, that they like when they're looping up and back into themselves. You see those 2 little exposed wires, and I think that you know enough at this time about machines and the way they work that you think that could be their power wires.
Connect them with your tongue.
So yeah, if you lick them,
I do that.
if you lick them both, yeah, you could turn them off.
I climb up there and lick it.
It's not the way to do it. You know that.
I pull wire cutters out of my bag of tricks, and you get to tell me what the downside of the wire cutters is. And it is the last note, 7. Yeah, I'll just keep giving me complications.
Keep
There's
giving
more
you
stuff, but it's all
complications.
bad things.
Okay. They're dull and rusty. You haven't taken good care of them.
Oh no.
You remember even the last time you tried to cut wire with these, it was like fucking using a butter knife to get through something thick and meaty. It is not great, but you can do it if you're given just a little bit of time.
All right, I'll have to come up with a distraction.
As Slippy pulls the wire cutters out of his bag, the 3 of you find yourselves back in this hallway, continuing down the hallway. You folks come to a end of the hallway, and the end of this hallway leads out and into a larger room. It is a large square room. In the center is a stone pillar, and facing you at floor level on this stone pillar is a dial. It's difficult to read from the opening of this hallway, though.
What BBW wants to check before we step in the room for like little traps besides the walls and on the floors. I'm gonna discern realities to do that.
Yeah.
9. I get 1 question.
If someone aids, also you have a bolster still, BBW.
That's 10 then.
Yeah, if you want to use your bolster.
I don't know why you say yes yet. Nah.
That's if you want 3 questions. It's totally up to you. It's just you're at a critical point where you could do it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'll just do the 1 for now.
Yeah.
What here is what not it appears to be.
You stop your crew from moving forward into the room as you peek around. You see that the floor of the hallway and the floor of this room are different, but only by about an inch. There's like a small inch that you step up to go into this room.
That's weird.
So it looks like basically on the other side of this door, there's the room is maybe pressurized, pressure plated.
Okay.
Right.
That works out anyway, actually, because Carl has a solution now that he's stepped on a pressure plate.
Okay.
Oh.
Carl is an octopus. You know what octopus love to do? They love to do that thing where they go and they're like flat on the ground with their legs out, which distributes their weight evenly across a much larger plane and likely wouldn't trigger any weight plates because it would weigh as much as a very small animal.
Are you able to move like that?
Yeah. I can totally just because I've got 8 arms with full mobility, so I
That's
can like
fair. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you're able to.
snakes live.
Yeah.
Like
Carl flattens himself out and moves out and across the floor. It doesn't trigger any sort of pressurized plate in the floor.
And then Carl looks back and says, "See you later, suckers."
This is my raid. But yeah, it doesn't
Betrayal
trigger the
already,
pressure plate.
so early in the heist.
I want to check the other side for a deactivation mechanism because typically, like, if you have, traps going in, you have some way to disable them so you can safely get out, or people who are meant to go there.
Yeah.
Carl assumes as someone who's never, set traps in his secret base.
Carl flattens out and moves his way around the room quickly, and what you notice is that around this room there isn't another way out. The only special part of this room as you move about at ground level is this dial at the bottom of the pillar in the center of the room, and the dial has 3 symbols on it: the symbol of an eye of Horus, the symbol of a scepter, and the symbol of a scarab beetle.
And Carl right away does eye scarab, eye scepter.
As you reach towards the dial, it seems firmly locked in neutral position, and you're unable to, like, you try to twist it towards I for your first input, and it seems just like firmly locked.
Well, the only other thing I see in here that's interactable is the pressure plate. So Carl's next thought is stay down, I guess, but
activate the pressure
unless
plate.
someone has something better.
Cookie's
Y'all are standing
gonna
out in the
try-
hallway should be safe.
I'm gonna try defy danger intelligence to see maybe there's a pattern to these plates or some sort of glyph or something. Something. 8.
Carl, you share the knowledge that you've picked up in this room, I imagine, with your crew.
Yeah. There ain't shit in here except for a dial with those symbols. And also the trap.
Yeah, I don't know that you pick up much from the pressure plate situation, Cookie, but as Carl shouts back to you about the dial, you know that, I mean, we've talked about it multiple times, but you know that the most common symbol in this back hallway was definitely the Eye of Horus, of those 3 that were shouted to you. But nothing about the plate.
I'm not sure what the frequency of the.
It technically shows up twice as much.
Yeah.
But so does the L in my name. Does that make it significant? I don't know.
If only we had a long stick to poke the pressure plate with.
We have
from
several
a
long sticks.
distance.
One that expands and one that doesn't.
Carl's already in there. He could just do it.
Could use one of my arms.
Well, yeah,
like,
but whatever the trap is probably aiming directly towards wherever the plate is. So it would still be ideal to be at least a few feet away.
Fair.
I am very stretchy and they can go far. I can just like poke one with part of the pressure plate. If you want to step back into this hallway.
Is this area, is it made of stone or metal? Are there like visible electronics?
No visible
Try
electronics
like
of any
that.
kind, just like
No.
off of sight, but that you could, of course, always try BBW, but I mean, off of sight, it just looks like a stone. I mean, coming through the exhibits on the outside, it feels like you guys are in a tomb, in the entrance of a tomb. All stone, all carved, all looks like hand set.
What I'm thinking is that we've got this bonus spear that produces electricity. I'm wondering if it's possible to like short circuit the trap or the column. I don't know if any of this functions on electricity.
I will say that you did hear the sounds of gears clicking in the hallway as the dart traps were set up. So less electronic and more mechanical, I think you're getting the vibe of. It's not like a pressure plate at the door. It's this entire room's floor is like an inch above the hallway floor. So if it's a pressure plate, it looks like the whole room is this one pressure plate.
So here's how I imagine that this trap functions, and I could be very wrong, but I imagine that once enough weight is in the room, the trap is going to go off. And then while the trap is going off, we have to interact with the pedestal. And hopefully that deactivates the trap. But on the off chance that it doesn't, I vote we leave Lucy in the hallway and hope that Slippy finds her.
I'm part of this heist. I could be helpful. If you want to talk about weight distribution, she gets down like Carl does. She like, look, I can get wide. I can distribute my weight.
That's talent. She's a natural.
Carl knows what I'm talking
She's
about.
doing it just like an octopus.
Half the arms, but twice the chutzpah.
Fair enough. Why don't we let's join Carl and see what happens? I don't know if there's another way to get around this thing without just setting it off.
Have the giant robot just step in. We should have enough weight, hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, as the first person steps in, a sound of grinding stone can be heard as the whole floor sinks about an inch, and the doorway that you came from begins slowly dropping down from the ceiling. Anyone left in the hallway quickly has an opportunity to dive under the door or be left in the hallway.
Carl's also already fiddling with the dial. Like, hand was on it before they even stepped in, so we know immediately if it turns or not.
Yeah, the moment that the door finishes its shut, I imagine that everyone's jumped into the room. The moment the door finishes shutting, the dial be like you've been trying to like twist it against its, restrictions the whole time, and the moment the door shut, it becomes free and you can fully spin it around. You basically know that you are going to line it up with whatever symbol you want and push it in, and that is what will be selected. Symbol,
Aye.
the eye. You easily set that to I and push it into the wall. This is all very quick. Carl was ready and messing with this thing and then ready to push it into I. As the door shuts, you begin to hear a hissing sound above your heads, and you look up and you see little plumes of smoke slipping in the top cracks of the room. But Carl sets it to stone and immediately presses it in, and that hissing stops, and the grinding of stone happens again, and on the opposite side of the room, a door is dropping down, and as it completes its drop down, the button pops back out and resets back to neutral, and the place stays the same. As you look around, there are two other walls, and on those two other walls, there are symbols above where the door would be. You can see now above the open door the symbol of the Eye of Horus, but there are symbols on the other two walls for the scepter and the scarab, if you're interested in either one. Slippy, you're back here. You have your wire cutters. Do you have a distraction?
So Slippy is going to, out of his bag of many items, he's going to pull out a balloon. And it's not the last item, but what's the complication for the balloon?
There's a hole in it. It's not gonna.
Damn it.
It's such a small hole.
I tie a
Really
little knot
slowly
around the
deflate.
hole, and then I tie it. No, I'm just kidding. so I'm gonna.
It's not gonna last long.
I'm gonna blow the balloon up with the hole pinched shut, and then Slippy's gonna look for one of these nice ancient Ron-Gyptian horns that he's heard so much about.
Okay. The Ronian horns. There's
He's gonna hope.
3 of them lined up.
Yep, he's gonna hope that one of them is not behind a case, or at least not completely enclosed.
There's one that's
about to
so
try-
big that they just don't have a glass case to enclose it. There's a few smaller
Can I
ones in
put
glass
a balloon
cases.
on the end of it?
Give me a
on the
defy
mouthpiece?
danger dexterity to slip out of here unnoticed as the horn blares up.
So that is an 11 plus 2.
Yeah, you slip and slide right back into the crowd as the horn blares up, and guards come running, and people are like clamping their ears and running away from this situation. But all of the focus is over here on this horn, as yeah.
And I get clipping. Slipping gets clipping.
Okay, give me a defy danger. You can use dexterity for this, but
Dexterity deal 8.
-1, it doesn't matter at an 8 for the shitty clippers, and you snip open the grate, but the negative here is you're able to slide in the grate, but you lose your hand on the grate as you snip open these wires to clear the lasers. You pop open the grate, but it drops to the ground with a crash as it breaks because it's stone, and you slip into the ventilation before anyone can see you. But your path has been noted as you slip into the vents. Inside this vent, it is not like a metallic, AC vent system. This is it's a diagonal leading directly up, not directly up, but diagonally up, stone shaft. You can feel a bit of air blowing down the shaft at you. It's pretty steep.
Oh, it's so historic.
But you're able to just sort of slide on up as you go.
Yeah, I've got stickers on my fingers because I'm a frog person.
Yeah, it's relatively easy for you. The other three, you're in this room. The door is open, leading into another dark hallway.
Oh!
On forward we go. Lucy's like, that was an easy trap.
Distributed weight.
This is a super
I'm
easy.
going down the hallway,
Easy dungeon.
feeling for
Yeah, Carl.
any stepping plates.
Carl's low, Lucy's short. Cookie and BBW follow up as you folks move down the hallway.
Of course she's a kid.
Carl, you actually don't run into any pressure plates as you're moving down this hallway. BBW and Cookie, you're moving down the hallway, and Cookie, you feel a slight twinge at your cheek, and you reach your hand up, and there's a spot of blood on your fingers, and you stop for a second, and you look down. There's a razor wire cutting across the hallway that your face has just kind of come up across, and you peer around through the hallway, shining your torch in in all sorts of directions, and they start to gleam down the hallway. All of them are above. They're about Lucy's head height. Carl's missed all of them, being on the ground, just like spacing himself out down. But now BBW and Cookie, the two of you, face a hallway of razor wires.
Limbo.
And I'll say that at the point you're at, Carl, this has stopped you, and you can see that as things go further on, they're also pretty low too. This is not going to help you for too long.
Carl is an octopus and can squeeze through any space as small as his beak.
I guess it
so I feel
will
like if
help you.
anyone can get through this hallway, it's Carl.
Fair enough. Carl's easily able to stay along ground level and continue down this hallway. Lucy is not, and about halfway she's like a little stuck up, and she's like, this is dangerous. She has a few cuts on her arms and her face. She's like, I don't know where to go next, Cookie. Could you help me get out of this one?
I'm gonna mimic what you're doing, Carl. I'm gonna get down on the golf fours and just start crawling around. I don't know if I can distribute my weight, but I'll be below the razor wires.
Well, the razor wires definitely go almost all the way to the ground. Carl has up to only a few inches of clearance because it's basically the only thing on Carl's body that can't compress is the beak. So anything a beak can fit through, the whole octopus can fit through. So Carl is able to easily kind of basically go beak size to the ground and squish up under these wires. But as you go down, you notice that you're not going to be down low enough. For the two of you will require Defy Danger, but you can tell me which one you're using, because I think that there's several ways to come through this hallway. There could be, if you have like a spell or an ability to get through it.
Magic.
I don't have either of those things.
You can't
Just cook the razor wires.
Yep, just cook them.
Again, I'm going to use my electrical magnetic detection. Try to see if there's any device that's causing these razor wires to come out and go through. Wait, that's a 7 for my... Hold up. I can detect the present machines. There's no direction, but not pinpoint their numbers or location. I just need to know if there is something. So
below you, there's the presence of a high-powered machine, but it has nothing to do with this hallway.
Oh.
It's like pretty far below you.
So this hallway, this is just happening?
Yeah,
Just
this is just straight up razor wires coming out of the walls. They're hard to see, so like the two of you wandering through the hallway walked into them. But it's basically going to require like the two of you, unless you have a different way to go about it, I would say Defy Danger dexterity to just like
Yeah.
slowly slip through the razor wires and not get cut up.
I'll do that. That is a 5. I fail.
Ooh, indeed.
I guess I'm also going to go with Defy Danger Dexterity. That is also a 5.
Both of you mark experience for that and take 3 points of damage as you are slashed up on your way down this hallway. The two of you are able, though, with that and taking that damage, to get Lucy through this hallway as well, through the rest of it, leaving the razor wire behind you. Carl, this was actually, why don't we put Lucy up to Carl, because these two have already failed coming through the hallway and slashing themselves up with razor wire. Lucy's stuck about halfway through this hallway. Carl, what's your thoughts on this?
Start spinning my fucking staff.
Oh,
See if I
yeah.
can cut some of this out.
Sure. Yeah. Why not? Why not just call that hack and slash?
Well, actually, this is.
But you have like an ability.
Bend bars lift gates. Yeah.
Yeah.
When you
this would
use
be that.
pure strength to destroy an inanimate object, roll plus strength. On a 10 plus, choose 3. On a 7 and 9, choose 2. I rolled an 8 plus 1, 9. So it doesn't take a very long time, and nothing of value is damaged. I'll probably go with, just to ensure I don't hit the kid.
That makes sense. You spin your staff, and it doesn't take very much time. So I'll even subtract 1 from your guys' damage, so 2 damage. If you have armor again, don't worry about that. As Carl
also
has
just how I'm going to proceed through the hall, like leading the way, just spinning it.
yeah. I mean, after this section, it doesn't seem to be any more
I'm
razor
taking chances.
wire.
You
But
don't
no,
know.
that of course makes sense as you're continuing through. Slippy, you are continuing up this vent, and eventually the vent levels out into a flat plane. There starts to be sand on the ground, grains of sand under your hands as you're going, and eventually this little shaft starts to become rather filled with sand, up into a point where there is a way forward, but it is blocked by a blockade of sand, and there is a way up. But as you move throughout this and bump like the walls, you can feel flecks of sand kind of fall down that tunnel.
So there's a way up and there's a way forward that's covered in sand.
The way forward is almost entirely blocked by sand. You can see like a little slit in the area up at the top where, like, maybe if you spend some time digging, or you can try to move your way up, but you can tell by the way that you're moving about that all of this sand has come from some point above you.
I for sure terrified to be crawling through sand.
Me too.
Gonna go up.
Gonna go up.
Yeah, not gonna do that one.
So what is this? Defy danger, probably strength, just to like.
Oh no,
strength your
with a
way up
-1.
With a -1.
We'll see how that goes. Let me double check how many -1s I have. Oh no, I have nothing regularly, so that's fine. That's a 5. So no.
I think
I'm just racking up the XP here at the end of the session here.
You are slow going on your way up this. Cookie nodding vigorously. You are slow going on your way up this tube. It's taking you quite a while. The more struggle that you have going up, and the more like you physically move around in this ventilation shaft, the more sand has started to like fall down this shaft. Sometimes in a handful, sometimes a few little sprinkles come down, but every jostle that you make causes more sand to just sort of drift down. This is where all the sand is coming from, and it's not being held back well. But you're slow going coming up this. You're only about 10 feet when we cut back to Carl, BBW, and Cookie. The 3 of you wander through this, led by Carl spinning his staff, and into a wider room. This room is rectangular. You've come in at the side of the rectangle, so it's long. Like as you're looking into it, it's shorter to the opposite wall than it is, to the left and right walls. There is a small walkway around the edge of this, but save that walkway, the rest of the floor goes steeply down at an angle into a pit. At the bottom of this pit is just a bottom of the pit. There isn't really much else to it. But you folks are standing at this doorway, little walkway around the edge of this rectangular room, and a deep, deep angular pit in the center.
Well, as previously not stated in this alternate universe, BBW, who's really good at climbing, should check out this pit, I think. Because if anyone's least likely to slip and fall in, I feel like it's you. You like to do that thing on... I've definitely never seen you do that thing, where you climb the sides of buildings.
What did he climb the side of a building in?
When he was stalking Cookie.
When I was talking to
Oh,
Slippy.
yeah.
I definitely
right.
saw you climb a building when we were battling the Chutches. You got on
Oh.
a ceiling. I know you can get up on a wall again.
How did it happen before?
Yeah. It's easy enough. Just looking at this pit, BBW seems a little.
Carl has gun out, not aiming at you, but like past you. Like, don't worry. If something comes out, I'll shoot all the witnesses.
Keep that in mind. We're gonna check out this pit. What exactly am I looking for in this pit again? A way out?
I think you're just
What the fuck
you're
it is.
inspecting the room from the walls, as
Heisting.
your crew knows that you can get through this without having to step
Ooh.
on the walkway. But you come
Okay.
out into this room, you see that there is the outline of a door on the other side of the room, but it is closed. This pit leads down into a flat area. This whole room just sort of looks like a bowl. Like there isn't just climbing, like as you climb out and along the walls around the door that you have entered from, there isn't a lot going on in here. You just see, the ceiling goes up only about 20 more feet from the door and down into this pit as well. Once you step off of this like walkway, it's a steep angle down into a bottomed pit.
Okay, let me go down to like the bottom of the pit. Climb on down.
Okay.
And there's that.
Why don't you
Is there
give me
absolutely nothing at the
why don't you give me a
bottom?
discern realities?
That is an 8. I'm going to ask, what here is useful or valuable to me
Down here
in this pit?
in the pit, now that you're down here in the bottom, underneath the entrance where you folks came in at, why you couldn't see it from there is a small overhang, and inside of this overhang there is a lever just in the ground, chunked to one direction.
Can I quickly check for a pressure plate at the very bottom of this pit?
Yeah, of course. Probably defy danger wisdom just for pressure plate check, unless you want to ask more questions through discern realities.
Okay. A 7 for the defy danger.
It doesn't seem to be a pressure plate down here at the bottom. And we'll say that you even step down. Most of your focus is on this lever. Doesn't seem to be really much else here
course.
besides this little like hidden alcove.
Nice. Without saying anything, I'm just gonna heave this lever on.
Cool. The other two, you are you're standing in the doorway. Carl, you stepped out to follow him down with your rifle. Yeah.
I'm just looking past him with the
Checking
rifle.
out.
Yeah.
I found a
Not anymore.
lever.
He's out of sight, I assume, as soon
lever.
as he went down the pit.
Right. As BBW shouts up, "I found a lever," and clunks the lever, the door to this hallway starts closing, and you folks have to either dive out into the room or stay back in the hallway. But I imagine that we all dive out into the room as the door is closing. And as the door is closing, you can also hear the shifting of stones around the top of the room around you. And as you see them shift down and into the stone below them, streams of sand start pouring out of the walls and down into this bowl. BBW, instantly there are 4 streams of sand coming from the top of this room, hitting the bottom of this bowl simultaneously. And the little alcove you're in is like way faster than you would want, starting to fill up with sand. Slippy, you're climbing your way up a ventilation shaft, the sand coming down in handfuls. All of a sudden you hear a metallic clunk in the wall, and you hear the sound of, shifting sand before you are blasted in the head with a torrent of sand coming from above you. You don't have an opportunity to do anything. It physically overpowers you instantly. And you are along for the ride. I would like at least, let's say, a Defy Danger Constitution to see how you deal with this ride.
Sand is not as fun to land on as snow.
Yeah, or to drown in as water.
Or land in.
Oh, come on. You can breathe a little sand.
No, I'm gonna continue to
Not
earn
for the
experience,
frog, no.
please. Just gonna grind it up
Yeah, that'll
here.
do you a lot of good as you drown.
Yeah, I'm gonna love being. I'm gonna love
You'll
being
be
ready
a
for
level
level
5
6 as a dead
corpse.
person.
5 damage, Slippy, as you are filled with sand and bashed around
no.
in this ventilation shaft.
He's
It's
trying
like
out.
one
You
of
said
those
5 or
vacuum
4?
sealed
5.
rice dolls now.
You folks in this room, you see these steady streams of sand pouring in from the
You
ceiling.
hear from down
Get out
below.
of the pit
Oh no!
now.
And BBW,
Hey, is that sand? Whoa!
before you have a chance to react, the sand is already up to like your knees. It's coming in this alcove and filling up the bottom of this pretty fast.
The good news is you can't suffocate. You'll just be buried there for eternity.
For eternity, how long is that?
I have a gun.
tell
I'll
me.
just kill myself.
Well, it's already up to my knees. Can I defy danger? Try to climb up as it's like pouring out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pull your legs out.
That feels right. Defy danger strength. If you
That's a
ate the
12.
cake, it's -1, but at a 12, it wouldn't matter. You rip your knees up out of this sand and shake them off real quick, getting the flecks of sand out of the most important joints, and begin scrambling out and into the bowl. The sand is coming down quickly, and you're able to kind of use it as it comes up to keep your feet above it and rise up with it. But that's going. So BBW is now about 10 feet below you, rising up with the sand as it's pouring in. But the three of you're looking around, and Lucy says, guys, I don't think there's a way out of this room. And you folks look around, and there is in fact no open doors in this room at the moment.
Let's defy danger intelligence. Look for clues. 8.
Cookie, you peek around the room. You know that the way out is through this door on the opposing side of the room, but as you are peering around from your side and even beginning to run around the edge to get a little closer and get a view on it, there isn't really anything on that wall around that little like outline of a door to show you what to do. Peeking around, you can see a line on the wall wrapping around the entire room, and it is about halfway up the door. It starts at about halfway up the door, and it's just like a little line that is cut into the stone going all the way around the room. And I think with your thing, you know that that's almost like a fill line.
Well, the good news is that the sand doesn't completely fill this room. The bad news is that it does fill the room to this line here. I don't know if we have a way to get above that line, or
You just keep stamping your feet. You just
Yep.
keep walking and you stay above the sand. Worked for the donkey.
Donkey technique.
Yeah, you folks have found a line, and you know about where the sand is going to. You folks are watching and stamping your feet, keeping yourselves above the sand as it continues to rise up and out of this pit and onto the walkway. At some point, you folks are all peering around the room, and a shape comes sliding out of one of the sand tunnels and falls about, we'll say, like 20 or so feet and lands in the sand with a chunk sand pouring over it. You see it, Slippy, and you rush over and help dig Slippy out of the sand. The sand reaches this line around the edge of the room, about halfway up the outline of the door, and stops. And then you hear a sound. Cookie, you would recognize it. Sounds pretty similar to maybe the hive back home. The sound of thousands of clicking insect legs coming from the same holes, and all of a sudden, rather than sand pouring out of the holes, there are hordes and hordes of beetles pouring down upon your heads. And
Are there more than 40? Because that's how many bullets I have.
oh yeah,
Slippy opens his mouth wide. Nom nom nom.
Yeah, I mean, frog.
as the beetles start to reach the sand, they begin to burrow down, and some begin to start crawling up on you and all over your stuff. And the doors begin to the door slides down to about sand level as the scarabs are pouring in the holes.
I see. So we have to get through the scarab.
I'm gonna head out.
Yeah, basically, I'm gonna need a defy danger dexterity to speedily get through this before the beetles start causing you guys some trouble.
I'm gonna pull out my beetle swatter out of my bag of many items, and it's the last item. What's the problem with it?
The beetle swatter. The problem with your beetle
Like mechanical,
swatter
so it's rapid.
is it requires both hands to operate. It's a you hold it with one and you crank it with the other, and it slaps back and
Awful
forth.
design.
It's the worst design you could have ever
Why did I
purchased.
bring this?
But you brought it, and it slaps the beetles
The thing I thought I brought was much cooler than this.
like a normal fly swatter, way cooler.
Yeah, but it
You folks run towards the doorway and dive through the door. The beetles are sort of all over you. Wait. No, you don't yet. What are those numbers for your defy danger dexterities?
I got a 7.
I also got
Eight.
They're gonna get me.
Oh, 10. 11 if you give me +1 for the beetle swatter.
Lily, what's your defy danger dexterity? Sorry.
7.
7. So you all rush through the door. Slippy slides through first. Slippy, on the other side of the door, you find another lever. And as your crew dives through the doors behind you, pulling beetles off of yourself. All of you take 1 point of damage from these beetle bites, but you all have more armor to withstand that, I believe. As you dive through the door, Slippy pulls the lever and the door shuts firmly behind you. There's a mound of sand here at this doorway as you find yourselves in another tunnel. It's rather short. It leads out and into an open chamber. Let's start at the center of this chamber. There is a huge sarcophagus inlaid in jewels, and it is like made of gold. It is in a glass cabinet similar to the exhibits out in the museum, but around it there are tables and boxes and chests and crates, and they're all filled with items and hunks of ore and gems and gold. And as you walk into this room, lights flash up around the corners of the room, and confetti pops from the ceiling and starts trailing down, and you hear a voice come on the intercom that says, "Congratulations! You have raided the tomb. You, among other few adventurers, have survived the raid on tomb of Pharaoh Tutamon. You may now select whatever prize you would like and attempt to escape with your lives."
Slippy looks at the group and says, "Eyeball?
Eyeball.
Pharaoh's eyeball, please."
And check for the heart just in case.
Pharaoh's eyeball and heart, please.
There is no response around you. I mean, there are weapons, there are pieces of
damn, we
rare
gotta
tech.
look.
There are I mean, there's loads. Anything that you could want is here. You want a piece of rare tech? That's probably here. You want extra credits? That's here. You want the Pharaoh's Eye? Peek around for it.
I think Slippy is going to look for the Pharaoh's Eye.
Quick question on how the
more
credits
before
work,
we go.
just so that I'm clear. They glom together in hunks, right? So if I just take out my credit hunk and just kind of wander around this room, will it just like hoover up all of the credits that are sitting around? I'm not doing that, but I am curious if that's how that would function.
It's like Ratchet Clank.
I don't know if I said it in there. We can say at some point in there they said that each of you are allowed one prize or up to 100 credits.
Rare tech or 100 credits.
It's so hard to think about. I think that in here is gold and gems and shit. Not credits laying around in here. It is gold, it is gems. But rather than
Maybe
take
rare ingredients.
something from here, honestly there's probably rare ingredients here too. There's like it is a tomb, as if you had walked into the tomb, except the weird thing is that the sarcophagus is in a glass case. So yeah, you
rolled a
couldn't just
7.
if these all were like singular credit hunks laying around in here, then yes, technically, as long as your credit chunk touched it, you could just like roll yours around like a nasty dung beetle and just pick up all the credits.
I got a 7 for my discern realities, and I would like to know what here is useful or valuable to me.
Everything is useful or valuable to you, Slippy. You could make a lot of money here. There's items,
Thanks,
whatever item you
DM.
need. It's here.
Dude,
Everything is
I
useful.
need this. I need the Pharaoh's Eye.
You're looking around with that. I mean, you're looking for a specific item. Nothing in this treasure really jumps out to you. The only thing that the only thing here that is drawing to your attention to a Pharaoh's Eye would be the sarcophagus itself. Over the eyes, we'll say over the right eye is a jeweled eye of Horus inlaid into the sarcophagus. It twinkles on its own as you stare at it. But it is behind this glass case.
Is there any ventilation in the case?
None.
Complete. Okay.
You said there are like weapons.
I don't have
laying
any.
around?
I don't have any way of getting a glass cutter or anything. So.
There are weapons around, yeah.
ABW would like to take one of those, and I want to roll hack and slash to just wail on this case and break it open.
Okay. Yeah. Do that. Give me a hack and slash. Strength, if you ate this stuff, -1 for the...
Yeah, did you install the cake?
I did install the cake.
We can't get him to stop installing cake.
9 with my minus cake.
9 with your cake minus. You pick it up. BBW does this without warning. He just sort of picks up a weapon and runs at the case to smash it. BBW, when you smash it, it causes glass to shatter outwards like it exploded from inside. You can dodge or get hit by it, and that is your decision.
Slippy's for sure gonna dodge.
Nope, just for BBW.
I'm not surprised by this though.
You aren't surprised.
Because of how reckless BBW was, I'm gonna go ahead and just take it to the face.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. Oof. 6 points of damage.
Okay, wait a minute.
Okay, wait a minute.
Well, then I changed my mind.
Not through armor. So if you have armor, you feel free to subtract that, of course. But yeah, 6 points of damage.
Not me though, right? Slippy's okay.
No, because BBW
got out of the
took
way.
it. His decision
Slippy's
was to
dead.
take it or to not take it. If he would have dodged, someone else would have just taken it.
Oh, okay. Then I would have been dead. Thanks for that.
Immediately, alarms start going off in this room. The
I thought we could take anything we wanted.
gold around the room begins melting into puddles of this golden aluminum-like liquid.
They said we could take everything we wanted, but they didn't. They also said that we'd have to escape with it.
And
Oh, goodness.
This is
the
true.
voice comes back on and says, "The exhibits are not to be messed with. Please leave the sarcophagus intact and make your way towards the exit. You folks have been expedited on out of here." And the door opens up at the other end of the room, and the alarms are increasingly growing loud in this room.
Slippy's gonna palm the eye.
As you touch the sarcophagus, you feel a rush through your hand. The eye is actually, it's like inlaid onto this sarcophagus as you try to pick it up. But you're not really able to get a full grip on it, because as you touch it, the sarcophagus door swings open and shoves you back. I guess you're not surprised by it, but you are pushed back by it.
I saw it coming, but I was pushed back.
And out of the sarcophagus steps a robot, and this robot is all built up and wrapped in oily wrappings, and it comes out. It is wielding a staff in one of its hands as it unfolds its hands from its chest, and it says, "Who dares disturb the tomb of Pharaoh Tutankhamun?"
Slippy says, "Carl, shoot this guy 20 times."
Witnesses. The witnesses.
Carl fires.
Hey, everybody, and thanks for listening to the Dungeons, Drive-Ins, and Dice podcast. Appreciate you folks coming on out and being a part of this. If you are looking for any way to support the show, help us get our name out to as many ears as possible, just tell a friend. Make sure that you rate us on whatever podcast you're listening to. it on. Follow us there so that it helps continue to push things out, rate it, or whichever method each podcatcher has of showing your appreciation for a show. Click that button, do that thing. It goes a long way to helping us get us out to new ears. And like we said at the beginning, tell a friend. Just tell a friend about this cool podcast that you're listening to and that you're enjoying. If you are enjoying this podcast, I myself host another podcast called the PureJoy Podcast. It is sort of a bi-weekly exploration of joy. New guests every episode. We talk about something that brings them joy in their life. It's just a nice, relaxing conversation. So yeah, you can find the PureJoy Podcast down in the description below, or just anywhere that you are listening to Dungeons, Drive-Ins, and Dice. PureJoy Podcast is here as well. So go check us out over there. Other than that, folks, we'll get back to the show. Thanks for listening.
Give me your shot, Carl.
Just no other time to use that. That was 100% the time to call that card.
Does the robot have interesting eyes?
8. I'm shooting him in the knee.
The robot
I'm sure the robot is very
itself
pretty.
looks, it's just very well built. It's built out of golden alloys, and we'll say that its eyes are faceted with jewels, but looking at the difference between the robot itself, the robot pharaoh itself, and the sarcophagus, the one on the outside of the sarcophagus definitely looks more valuable than the one in its specific eyeball. You shoot
Just to be
knees. What was your damage?
9.
9 points of damage. You fire, it hits the knee, and you see it basically reflect clean off the knee and into a wall. It stumbles a little bit on that knee and then places it back down and continues walking towards you folks. It raises its scepter, and a brilliant red light shines from the scepter, and I need all of you to give me Defy Danger Constitution. Who got poisoned by the darts? That was Carl and Cookie. Both of you just unfortunately fail.
Okay, yeah, I failed anyway.
Yeah.
Defy danger, what?
Yeah, 7.
Constitution.
We the people.
10.
Okay. Well, for Carl and Cookie, that's only 1 point of damage through armor. BBW, you feel this light wash over you, and you can feel your machines start to short circuit. I will allow you the option of just taking damage or it completely short circuiting one of your machines, and that will be one that I choose. And you won't know right now.
No. Okay. I'd say let it short out of the machine.
Yeah, you feel
Don't
the
worry,
zap
we're
go through your
taking more
system,
damage.
and something's wrong with your machines, but you don't have the time to really assess what that is. What do the 4 of you do?
How did the robot? I think I might have missed. How did the robot react to being shot?
The bullet actually just
It
bounced
deflected off.
like right off its
He stumbled
kneecap.
a little.
And this wasn't in the same way of the robot Santa deflection, because that was a Slippy failure. This was Carl succeeded. The bullet bounced off his knee.
Yes, and again, this nicely made robot's eyeballs look like
Nice gems. Nothing
nothing too
particularly
crazy.
stand out compared to the one on the sarcophagus.
Is he looking at me?
I think the best play is to scatter, and then some of us try and get this eyeball, and then all of us try and get out of here and deal with the big bullet reflecting robot as little as we possibly can.
Yeah, somebody kite him. I have a
Starts his
lockpick.
spinning routine.
I don't know necessarily how useful the things in the adventuring gear, but I have maybe something that I could use to pry at an eyeball. We'll definitely see. I'm just gonna kind of start running in circles.
I'm gonna move with Slippy. My goal is to either get behind the robot or up to the sarcophagus, whichever comes first.
This tracks. Okay. BBW, what's your goal as everyone is scattering?
I want to like pocket a few things, like some pieces of like if I can't find some rare tech real quick, something valuable, maybe like one weapon into my little storage case, and then I'm gonna hide on, like jump onto a wall. to
Fucking
avoid the thing.
looting. I love it. Give me a Defy Danger Wisdom for perception is what we've been using.
Cool. It's a 4.
BBW, everyone around you is sort of scattering. Carl, you're scattering, yeah? You're on the scatter plane?
Yeah.
Carl running off
Yep.
one way, Slippy and Cookie running off in the other direction, just sort of making distance so that it has multiple targets to focus on. You reach down and start looting through some of the remaining pieces. There are like all of the gold and jewels have begun melting along to the ground. You get a sense that they may not have been legit all along, but some of the pieces of like rare tech and the weapons are just sort of laying in these piles of liquid. And as you reach down and pick up a particularly interesting to you band, Tudamon turns his attention towards you and raises a hand and roars a guttural roar, and several metallic bandages come out from the palm of its hand and streak towards you. And I need you to give me Defy Danger dexterity. Oh, and
That's a 5.
for your 4 last turn and your 5 this turn, you get to mark experience for both of those. As these bandages hit BBW, you are wrapped up tight. Like they wrap around you mechanically and cinch your body into just like a solid hold, and you fall over, unable to really move your body. Carl, Slippy, Cookie, the 3 of you have split up. Cookie, Slippy, you're kind of together. This thing has its focus upon BBW back where you guys started. What is your guys' place?
Prying on it.
While he's prying on it, I want to get directly behind the robot pharaoh and pop the staff and look over at Carl and be like, "Sorry, this was supposed to be for you," and then jab the base of the staff into the back of the robot and zap him real good. Hopefully that will not just make him angry.
So the point of this is that electrical discharge that the dude told you about. Cool. So not Cookie. Slippy, you're close by, and the robot, I guess, would also need to make one, but
I did roll a 6 on my pry check, and then what is this roll that I'm about to make?
this will be a Defy Danger.
Okay.
Let's say it's dexterity, but you get -1 because of your prying. You're focused on
7.
prying. 7. I think that you just do it, Cookie. The arcs of electricity fire out and scratch across the stone pillar behind the sarcophagus and right over Slippy's head and all over the room. Carl, you see this. There's large arcs of electricity sort of whipping around Cookie, just like hitting the robot mostly in front of her. Cookie, give me for this attack, I think it's just a hack and slash. Just a basic hack and slash roll, it feels like. 7. You can, with a 7, you can either cause full damage but get caught up in the brunt of this electrical storm that you're creating, or cause minor damage but stop it before it, envelops you. You don't quite know how to control this situation. It's generally safer for the user, but this is our very first time seeing it in action. We don't know how to control it yet.
I'm gonna take the brunt of it. I want to knock out this robot. That's the priority.
The lashes of electricity jolt out from this robot and whip across the room. Cookie getting caught up in it and taking 4 points of damage. Getting through a little bit of your armor, you feel the singe on your body beneath. The robot itself, though, is stationary and sort of like locking into place, as we've talked about with a lot of like machines that have been overpowered in our campaign. It's just unable, sort of similar to the giant robot in the Carissa attack, unable to continue its movement right now. It's like trying to process this amount of power that's rushing through its system. So you folks have a moment to do a thing. Oh, Slippy, you got a 7 on your Defy Danger, didn't you? You have the opportunity to take damage but get a better handle on your pry bar in this, or dodge it and have to slide out of the way.
Using my insane reaction speed and my lack of surprise, I'm going to use this moment to think about how much this is going to hurt. Do you think it will hurt a lot or just a little bit?
You see these large bolts of electricity. Cookie, how does, after getting blasted by one of these arcs of electricity, how is Cookie feeling?
Yeah, does it look like it goes through armor?
It sucks a lot.
I'm going to not get hit by it.
Okay. Yeah, this one's not good. Cookie's like smoking.
Yep. Could have not get hit by it, please. Thank you.
You dodge out of the way, your pry bar falling out of your hands and bouncing across the floor, but you pull yourself up out of danger, and the robot's attention is now towards the sarcophagus, and Cookie is still stalling in place, trying to like reset itself. You folks have a moment of time. Carl, what would you like to do?
That seemed to work, and I also have a shocky stick, so I'm half tempted.
Double the shocky stick? Just overwhelm him?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Shock him again. Let's overload them circuits. Ooh. So that is 2 6s. So that's already a 12 without my added string.
Oh yeah. More than success. Roll me damage from your shock staff.
Right in the back of his neck. That's where I'm aiming. Ooh. Although the to be fair, the shock, the electroshock itself, at least on the character sheet, doesn't do damage. It just stuns technically. So usually I don't roll damage for that. I don't know if
That's fair.
It would do damage rather than just short circuit / stun him.
No, that's fair. That's fair. We'll add that on top of the short circuiting that's going on, and you start to see these bouts of sparks sparking out of the different joints that's going on. This thing is seemingly unable to move for the moment. BBW, you're wrapped up tight. It's tight. It's a little painful. It's like squeezing you. What do you do? I don't know what you can physically do, but maybe there's something.
I'm gonna use my command of robots. I'm gonna try to relinquish his tying of me.
Yeah, I'll give you a +1 actually to your command of robots right now, because he is in unable to really like communicate with his own robots.
Right. I'm gonna use my bolster this time too. See if I can get as high as I can get it. Okay. So I rolled a 3 plus 3, 6, and the +1 you're giving me is 7.
I was like, there's no way we're getting.
That's why we saved the bolster.
That's why we saved the bolster. Holy shit, that came in handy.
A little bit.
What's your command? What's your command of robots?
All right, I'm gonna parlay with these things saying, hey, I'm not the target. The target is this guy's legs.
The tightness lets up for a moment to allow you a chance to actually break free. I'll give me like defy danger strength with +1 from your command of machines.
Sick. Okay, that's a 5.
You try to break out and you get your upper torso out and you start to try to crawl out, but then they cinch around your legs even tighter and they crush your legs together. You feel a little mechanical whirring in your legs as they're trying to like right themselves, but you take 2 points of damage, probably none after armor, and are just cinched in the legs now. Your arms are free. Slippy, Cookie, the two of you seem to be acting as a duo at the moment.
Well, I avoided being damaged that time, so I'm gonna use my, I can't say undamaged, but I'm gonna try and go for the eye again.
Okay, running for the eye.
I mean, it's a 9 before any bonuses. I don't know. Is it strength again?
Can I help? I've also got a stick. Can I also put my stick in there and roll to help?
We pound on the eye.
Yeah, sure. I feel like turning both of your attention may draw fire if it. I guess it's locked down right now and stunned. So yeah. Do your thing while it's stunned.
My aid roll is a 4.
Either way, it's either a 7 or an 8. So
several things kind of happen at once here. The Slippy, you are locked into this. You can feel it starting, but you have to continue to wiggle. And you are like legs around this sarcophagus, just like wiggling away at the eye. And Cookie, you were there. You tried to tap in a few times, but you're not able to get a real hand in there with the spear. and the pharaoh's head spins around once and then looks at you and lets off a beam of light from its eye, and it's coming right at you. Cookie, you've drawn attention. So I'd imagine it's to defy danger. Dexterity for speed.
After resolving the defy danger, since he just turned around, Ka'arl's gonna attack.
I like that.
The good news is that I'm only 2 XP away from level 6 now. The bad news is I'm pretty sure I die here. So we'll see.
Level 6 corpse! Level 6 corpse!
3 points of damage from this
Joining the Yildiz
this
Club.
eye energy washing over you.
Cookie's unconscious. Yep.
Oh.
Cookie crumples into a heap. Carl, you're there though, you've been opened to you. So give me that hack and slash, I imagine it's again, with +1 from Cookie's opening.
Specifically what Ka'arl's gonna try to do is, assuming there's kind of like any kind of crease where the neck joint is, since he can turn his head all the way around, is Ka'arl wants to like stab into that and kind of like try to like pop that joint or something.
Yeah.
Pop the motherfucker's head off. 5, 6, 7. 7.
7. Okay. You jump onto this thing's back and jam your stick into it.
And 8 damage.
8
If
damage. Your
applicable.
stick slides down into that crevice and you push like a lever, popping its entire back off of its frame. You have a brief moment, you hear a small beeping. Beep, 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 beep. And you have just a moment before an explosion occurs. This is the negative from the 8. Everyone, save Cookie, give me a defy danger dexterity as this robot implodes.
9.
I got a 12 naturally rolling, so.
Nice.
Ha-
I would -1 from BBW, but it wouldn't matter at this point because your legs are all tied up.
Sure.
Slippy?
I mean, it said I had to keep going at it, right?
Oh, I guess, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll give you an
Otherwise, I can't get the thing.
Yeah, no, I think, I mean, your option, I guess, at that would be take the damage and get it out, or attempt a dodge roll and...
Do I want to be a corpse and get it out, or do I want to dodge roll?
You
think I
want
have to
poor and
dodge
alive
roll.
or rich and dead?
I think I have to dodge roll. 7.
7. All of you only take 1 point of damage from the explosion. As it rocks this chamber, the door that you folks entered busts open and sand starts pouring in from the way that you folks entered, but the robot itself is dead. This room is slowly, more quicker than you would want, filling up with sand from the door you folks entered in from.
Lucy, come over here and use your small hands for a change. Help me with the eye.
Okay, yeah. I feel like I've been super helpful on this mission so far. Might as well keep it up now.
I rolled a 9, so please assist me.
Okay.
You gosh darn NPC. You don't have to roll, just assist me.
Well, I did anyway. So you get a +1, Slippy. Good job.
Great, 10.
Yay! You did it. I almost
You would've
started
wanted us to
narrating that
succeed
through
here.
fucking Lucy's point of view. You
And then Mr. Slippy,
and then
he
Mr.
gets
Slippy
the
pops the eye. You pop the eye out of the sarcophagus and into the palm of your hand. It's cold and you can feel it sort of vibrating as you pocket it, and the door on the other side of the room, the opposing side of the room from where you entered, has opened. This room is filling with sand. The hallway on the other side seems rather thin.
Gotta go. Somebody pick up Cookie. And I
BBW's
pick
legs
up-
are tied up. Cookie's unconscious.
Ka'arl's gonna go. What is tying up BBW's legs specifically?
Mechanical wrappings. They were shot out of the pharaoh's hand. They look
Keep
like
the wrappings.
bandages, but they're
Does it
mechanical
look
in nature.
cuttable?
Yeah. Looks like you could
And
do some damage to him if you try.
I'ma cut it.
Hack and slash on
Need a hack and
BBW's
slash?
legs.
My legs.
My legs.
8.
8. Yeah, I think with that, this not an option, you just roll
5 damage to your kneecaps.
Yep, I was gonna say just roll damage. So that'd be with 5 damage. Oof, 5 damage, BBW.
Oh,
You the
Well, no, I'm
bandages-
aiming between the legs just to cut the bandage. I'm not actively going to be attacking his kneecaps.
No, this is true. This is true. I guess the option is hit BBW and get the bandages off, or you can't get the right leverage in
Gotcha.
there. So
Okay.
I guess I should leave it up to you. I shouldn't say that BBW is
Can you
causing
take that hit? Because I can't drag 2 corpses out of here.
darn.
Can
Oh,
you
I
take
don't, I
that hit?
guess.
Are you still up with that hit, BBW?
Oh, I can take the hit.
Okay,
Because I
cool.
have the armor. It's fine.
Yeah, armor
I'm
for
just-
sure. Armor for sure.
My legs.
Yeah. But your legs are fine, and the 3 of you are able to lift Cookie onto your backs and make it to the hallway. As you enter into the hallway,
You were right. These exoskeletons are heavy.
the door slams shut. The
Oh, who would have guessed?
path forward
didn't
is
know.
a angled hallway downward. And as you step into the hallway, you hear the shifting of stone above your head, and you look up and you can see a large round boulder coming in from the ceiling, and you move forward and it drops in behind you, and you begin fucking booking it down this slanted hallway as the boulder is rolling in behind you. And I need everybody who's carrying Cookie.
Probably, I would assume BBW.
I'm carrying Lucy.
The big one.
Also, Cookie, you're in a familiar place. The space around you is white. There is a set of wrought iron doors guarding a pitch black space. You've been here before. You're a little hazy, a little foggy, but something about this feels so familiar to you, and I need you to give me a death save.
Last breath. When you're dying, you catch a glimpse of what lies beyond the black gates of Death's kingdom. Then roll. On a 10 plus, you're not dead. On a 7 to 9, there are bargains involved. On a fail, your fate is sealed. So what do I see? What do I see beyond the gates of Death's kingdom?
This is where I kept us last time. This isn't the first time we've rolled this because Cookie has almost died before. So the gates begin to open. I think this is where we make your roll. I know that it says it gives you a glimpse, but just based off of how we did last time.
That's a 9.
The gates begin to open and a cold wind begins shoving out that blackness inside, and it begins overtaking the space. A hand reaches out from the darkness, a skeletal, bony hand, and just reaches out to you in a way of it wishes to guide you. You get a sense of peace from this. You get a sense of right from this, of you can finally rest, that any sort of home you're looking for is beyond these gates. The things that it's offering you, the senses that you're getting, is a sense of family, of wholeness, and you can either accept its guidance and slip cleanly into death, which would be absurd, or you can sort of sever those ties of family and of, I guess not family for you, would be more of colony, and have your reproductive systems damaged.
It's gonna be really funny whenever you haven't told us about the thing that's going to happen, and then the thing happens and you're not there to have it happen.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Cookie's whole character jam revolves around the continuing of her life cycle, as do all of her interesting mechanical abilities.
It's not threatening to entirely take it away from you. You just know that your reproductive systems, you get a sense that your ties to colony will be damaged in a mechanical sense. What your egg making, your actual producing of this will be damaged. Not nullified entirely, but damaged for sure.
Here's the thing. It may or may not be bad for the podcast, but I think given these choices, Cookie the character would choose to die.
I am not really worried about the best. I mean, best for the the narrative flow is the narrative flow. I feel like if that is what makes most sense to Cookie, then I guess that makes most sense to Cookie. They're out of speaking at death's door. You have something. Cookie has some things set up that could lead to a flow of this, a better setting of her, I don't know, reproductive cycle, something maybe to do with the mother cradle you got going on. There is maybe ways to go about fixing this, but I do agree. I mean, that's a pretty heavy hit for Cookie. So if Cookie is not willing to damage
Logically,
that,
though, being able to make less eggs is still better than not being able to make any eggs because you're dead. If you choose death, you reproduce even less. So by that logic, I don't know if that still, I don't know if that's actually does make sense, you know?
I mean, I can agree less to me is better than none, but her whole existence is around building a lively, strong colony. And if I can agree that if the queen is ill in any form or fashion, then the colony is ill. The colony is damaged. So I can definitely see both sides of the coin. Narratively, I can keep it flowing. I can keep it going. But I think this is a decision for Cookie to make. Death has his grips on your ovaries, and I don't know, is offering you guidance into sweet death.
Take me to sweet death, I think. The justification being, the stuff with the mother cradle felt tenuous at best, and if I show up damaged and sort of less capable of fulfilling an already tenuous bargain, it doesn't feel like that's going to pan out as well as Cookie's hoping it will. Yeah, I think since I've said it already, I'm gonna stick by it.
Oh man, Gabe blue screened.
Gabe died too. You died in the game. You died
He
for
said
real.
that he was going to die, and then
Gabe
that's about as far as it
died
can go.
in reality. That's the worst.
I can see him dead in your background.
Okay, hold on. Cookie has told Death to fuck himself, and I think
Cookie deadens.
I don't know. The story
Can't believe
doesn't
you
really
roll up a
fulfill
new
without
character.
Cookie.
oh boy. I think with Cookie telling Death,
Chutch is joining the party. Chutch is joining the party.
oh my god,
I'd
Pevins
sooner
could
see
join the
Lucy.
party. This is incredible.
Pevins joining the party. Pevins.
Blackness overtaking Cookie, the three of you running down this hallway past this boulder. The boulder, I may have asked for a roll from the boulder, but it was truly the last thing on the mission. You folks run down this hallway as the boulder slams into the doorway behind you that you run through, and you find yourselves back in the museum, running out of the same door that you entered into. There goes Gabe's screen, and that is okay. There are museum employees and people around. There are big TV screens up on the wall, and there are glasses of champagne.
I was distracted by this, but as we're going up through away from the boulder, how big is the eye? Like, is it like a Rolo? Is it like
the eye is it's big enough to like fit in your palm. You can't like fully palm it. You're gonna have to. Like,
I was gonna
hide
tell
it in
Lucy
your
to
bags
eat
and
it,
shit.
but never mind. I won't do that.
No. But yeah,
Do you know that he has died yet?
You don't. It's not very long before you know. The museum employees come forward and give their condolences for the loss of your friend. They explain that yes, some people have died in the raid on Tutamon's tomb, but
I mean, it was a hell of an experience.
most of this is supposed to be not deadly. We
can't
do
hold it against
we
you,
do
honestly.
apologize for your losses. It's always negative when things like this happens. We do send our best, but unfortunately, that is the negative behind events like these is that they can be life threatening. But you folks
What's
enjoy
important is that we all had fun.
a little party. You got the Pharaoh's Eye, and you return to the hotel.
Yeah, thanks.
Cookie
Thanks.
being sent behind in a casket, paid for by the museum, the Heist Tower and Museum. They ask where your ship is and where they can send the body to, and they send it over to the hotel. As you folks are closing up your rooms, you're packing things up, a midnight bellhop approaches the group, and you get a sense of deep sorrow from this being as it does, and
I think sadly towards it.
it responds in sadness with you, and it gives you folks a bouquet of flowers and asks you, Carl, since you gave me that sense of sadness, you get an inquisitive sense on if Cookie had given you folks any plans.
And question mark thought?
Does Cookie have a diary?
I don't think so.
Hey, why are you sad, Midnight Bellhop?
It nods, and as it's nodding, that sense of sadness fades like a blink of an eye, and it is back to the way that you remember meeting it. It is back to this sort of like cold servitude. Another one shows up as you folks are loading your stuff out of the rooms. It has a silver platter, and you lift up the top of the platter, Slippy, and there are some buffalo cricket wings for you to take on your trip home. Something you had ordered in the very first interaction with them, but they never gave them to you. So there's a little wrapped up to-go container. And then you guys sadly load the casket onto your ship and take off from Opulence into the atmosphere of the planet, leaving it behind and heading back to the Delta, Cookie in tow.
I wonder what's going to happen to one of my bonds, because I can never complete it now.
Yeah,
truly
me either.
did not
I think I
expect
completed mine
death.
before.
Wait, really quick. Midnight Bellhop, what was Cookie's secret? I need to know Cookie's secret. I need 1 XP.
We got Bond XP or we got end of session XP to go as well. That is
Let's
wild.
think about how much does Cookie get? Okay, none.
I guess all the
much
bonds with
does-
Cookie are resolved.
The worst way. In the worst way possible. So end of session questions. So sad. I feel sad. It feels like I'm playing a Nuzlocke and I lost my anchor. It's like a bad, not that Cookie was the anchor, but I feel like I lost one of my main team, obviously. All right, end of session
Cookie
questions.
was the first one to show BBW that he could eat.
Oh man, reminded BBW that he could eat. This is all wild things. So did we learn something new and important about the world?
That Cookie could die.
That it's colder without Cookie in it.
That it's colder without Cookie in it. We overcame a notable enemy and we got a notable treasure. So that's good. The only thing we learned is that the world is so cold without Cookie. Did anyone finish a bond? If you have,
I guess I did.
What? Okay,
I did with Cookie. The one with the one where we baked a cake together for fun.
Oh, what was that bond for you?
I think it was just that. Cookie and I must have prepared something for a party together for fun.
And you did that. So that's a free
Mhm.
bond on the last day Cookie was alive.
So true.
you told me to think up a replacement bond.
Oh,
I didn't have one at the beginning, so I put, what would it be like if Cookie died?
And now I know. Why would you have had that bond before?
I'm just curious.
Secretly wanted to kill Cookie the whole time.
What if one of my
Now you don't have
teammates
to.
dies? That could be your bond.
Mine was Cookie is hiding something from me. I must find the context for this deception. I don't think I did.
Unfortunately,
No, wait. I was
That's
told.
resolved.
I was told it was the present for Carl.
yeah.
That's
Okay.
true.
So that
To your
that is
understanding,
one
that is the
last thing
secret.
too.
So Slippy will just shrug and take the XP.
I mean, truly, I think that you could, if Cookie was alive, you could not. But with Cookie being dead, there's no
There's no way you'll ever know.
that you'll
Especially
ever know.
with the
Yeah.
bellhops kind of going back into their shell.
Mhm.
That quest line is dead.
Yeah, pretty much. So that is fine. Honestly, Carl, feel free to take it. If you have, so if you have a bond with Cookie, and I guess at that point, so Carl would be the only one that
I have a bond with Chutch.
hasn't completed it with Cookie, even though you didn't have one. Take an experience as well. Clear all bonds with Cookie off the board. No more experience beyond the ones you've just gotten. And we...
You mean you don't want me to just take a new Cookie one now, or
That would be wild if you took a new Cookie one now. I really want to know what
There's
it's
a
like to
cult in the
bury Cookie.
Spookyverse, so maybe we could.
That's true.
Do we have to bury Cookie? Because I mean, all that's going to be left is the exoskeleton. We could just keep the exoskeleton.
I just assumed that that in the future you should.
Oh, sorry, I'm
coffins
thinking of
out
a
into
different character
space.
that I used to play. My bad.
Yeah. Last but not least, Ka'arl. I mean, looking through Cookie's belongings, and I guess right before Cookie did that thing that
He did say
I
this
got
was
this.
supposed to be for you.
So Carl, there is a new built staff. It is collapsible. I think it has all of the same stats and things as your current one, except that electrical thing can be used in an area. Yes, it's also, Gabe has pointed out, it's coded in Arinia, so it can make its way through any sort of detector or anything like that. So it's stealthy as well. Yes, the big difference here is that it is rather than a single target electricity, it is kind of like the spell Thunderclap, where you hit everyone around you, including allies.
Meter cube.
So be aware if allies are nearby when using it. But yes, so it just
Carl's
has a wider
crying.
thing.
It's very bittersweet.
And we
He's so cool.
yeah, lost Cookie. So next time we come back, we're gonna do station time with everyone's level ups. We'll introduce a new
Gabe,
character.
just play Lucy. Gabe, just become Lucy.
There are honestly options. Lucy's an option. Chutch could come back if Gabe wants Chutch. We have Pevins. There's a few other options I have in my brain that I would like to talk about Gabe with, in case some of them are cool for him and he just like wants to do it.
Mr. Blood, come back.
Gabe could just be Mr. Blood on the Delta. That could be fun. Maybe he's Carissa, who knows. But yeah, we'll be back on the station next time as we have departed Opulence to do station time and the next station arc. So gracious. Can't believe we got through the full mission and someone died
on a side quest.
in the side quest flavor at the end.
Sure did.
Oh, we never got verification. Did we just intercept a commercial in space?
I sure hope this is the Pharaoh's Eye we were supposed to get.
No info yet.
I hope it was worth it.
But you have a Pharaoh's Eye and a body. So yeah, we'll return next time and see what happens aboard the Delta. Wow, can't believe we lost someone. Incredible.